Greetings, Benjamin J. from Ben's Trains with another in the series. Well, the Burro crane is finished, as you see. I've epoxied the boom in place, and while the epoxy was, before it cured, I went ahead and ran the lines, and then pulled the boom down to pull everything tight. And as you see, I let the epoxy cure, and the Burro crane is finished. So on the hook, we have an axle and two wheels. I added a small glob of solder right there to give that hook something to hold on to. And this actually doesn't look too bad. So I've added the spotlight car and a gondola to hold the scrap that the Burro crane is actually picking up. And at the far end of the consist, or the layout, I added that new beacon so it comes on whenever there's power on the outside rail. The outside rail is still attached to the 12-volt car battery. I still have not charged it. Anyway, this is going to be its first trip around the rail, so I thought I would do a quick video to document it. This is made completely out of junk. I mean, an old Marx micro motor, a Lionel crane body, and just kind of cobbled it together. Now, to mount the motor to the shell, I used a wine cork, and ground the wine cork flat on the bottom to epoxy it to the top of the motor, and then ground the top of the cork flat to make it the right height to hold the shell itself, and then epoxied everything together. The boom is epoxied, the lines and knots are epoxied, the guides are epoxied so the lines can't come out of the guides. I might actually replace this with wire. That'll keep the hook from swinging as it's running. But in any case, just got this finished, so I want to do a quick video to document it. So without further ado, the Marx Burro crane, first trip around the rail, hauling a Marx searchlight and a Lionel gondola. And I've got that beacon on the end of the layout attached to the outside rail. So when there's power on the outside rail, that beacon is on. So as you see, the Burro crane is up and running. And actually running quite well, as you see. I mean, considering this is made completely out of junk. And finished it this morning, so I want to do a quick video of its first run on the rail. This actually doesn't look bad. It looks like a Burro crane, no doubt about that. It runs well, it looks nice. Hauling an original Marx searchlight and a Lionel gondola that I've got a Marx tab and slot coupler on. So for being made out of junk, this actually looks quite respectable. It definitely looks like a Burro crane, there's no doubt about that. And it has enough power to pull 16 tin litho cars. We proved that last night. So it runs well, it looks decent, and it's made completely out of junk. So anyway, I just want to do a quick video of its first trip around the rail. As you see, it works. Now, Marx never made a Burro crane. Lionel did, and they're expensive. So I wanted one, and since I had this Lionel crane body, I figured I would see if I could adapt it to fit on that Marx micro motor, and this is the result. The coupler on the Burro crane is just hooked over the rear axle for now. But as you see, that doesn't look bad. It runs good, it looks nice, it costs nothing. Just made out of junk in the junk box. So I'm rather pleased with it. Like I said, I might replace this as nylon cord, actually. I might replace that with single strand wire. That'll prevent the hook from swinging and will look more like cable. Anyway, I just want to do a quick video on this. As I always stress, don't overlook the junk. Just because something's junk when you get it doesn't mean it's going to be junk when you're finished with it. In this case, I have a one-of-a-kind Marx Burro crane that actually runs quite well. It looks like a Burro crane, it runs like a Burro crane, and it costs nothing. Made completely out of junk parts. So I'm rather pleased with it. It was a lot of fun. It only took a few minutes, actually. It took longer for the epoxy to cure than it did to actually build it. So I'll be running this occasionally. It was just a grand experiment, really. I wanted to see what it would take to actually build a Burro crane, a Marx Burro crane. And in this case, I don't know, an hour of my time, perhaps. A lot of fitting, especially grinding that wine cork to the correct thickness. Of course, I ground it flat on both sides, and one side is epoxy directly to the motor. The other side is epoxy directly to the shell. Then I had to grind it to the right height to get the correct spacing for that shell. But as you see, it actually doesn't look bad. And I've got this Lionel axle with 2 wheels on it hanging from the hook. Throw some scrap wheels and associated junk in the gondola. You've got the searchlight to go with it, and you have yourself a genuine Marx Burro crane that actually runs quite well. Like I said, Marx never made one of these. Lionel did, but they are expensive. I've looked at them. Cheapest one I've found so far was 69 bucks. Well, that's a lot of money to spend for a Burro crane. For 69 bucks, I can buy 5 locomotives. Anyway, I just wanted to do a quick video on this. It works, it was fun, it's simple, it's made completely out of junk, so essentially it was free. And I don't think it looks bad, even as it is. There's really nothing more I need to do to it. I don't have to paint it. I don't have to do anything else to it at all. Like I said, I might replace the nylon cording with single strand wire. That'll make it look more like cable, and of course it will prevent the hook from swinging. So anyway, just a quick follow-up on this Burro crane. You'll be seeing it running. It works. It's free. It was a lot of fun to do it. It only took a few minutes, really. Most of it was fitting. Epoxied it all together. Got it finished this morning. Just wanted to do a quick video. Like I said, this actually originally pivoted. So I put epoxy on the pivots, put the cord awning for the cable, and then pulled everything tight, let the epoxy cure, and this is the result. A Marx Burro crane that cost nothing. So it actually looks quite respectable. I don't think anyone would object to owning it. It was a lot of fun to build, and the best thing about it, of course, is that it was free. And of course, it works. It runs actually quite well. So anyway, just a quick follow-up video. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, BENZTRAINZ@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.